1 minute ago, Andrew Ruscoe, you bitched out to public outcry for some fucking reason and refunded my fucking money. Don't give money to this guy. Don't give money to this fucking guy. And you know what? Don't fucking ask me for money ever again. You or anybody else who won't fucking say where the money came from. I wrote Tate Brothers on the fucking donation. I give you £5,000, which is 2 months of wages working any normal job. 1 second, boom, it's there in your account. And you fucking refund it because someone said, well, Tristan's a bad guy, blah, blah. You know who I fucking am anyway because you messaged me 34 times, you piece of shit. Now your fucking kids in your fucking club aren't gonna have any fucking uniforms, any fucking footballs to kick around, and that's your fucking fault. I'm gonna put you on fucking blast. You should be ashamed of yourself. I didn't find you. I didn't randomly give you money. I didn't think what a great cause. Let me send you money. You fucking asked me. This cocksucker pretends he cares about his fucking kids and his fucking football club, refunds the money because someone said Tristan's a bad guy.
So what we've just heard there was basically what's based on myself asking people, will they retweet our content? So at this moment in time, we've got a donations page because sponsors in Britain at this moment in time is quite tough, especially now Britain's entered things like the recession. I knew it was coming, you know, it's been spoke about. So you've got to try and get as much funding in for the club with basically to tackle the issues of what will happen, because the first things that go in Britain is things like sports clubs. They won't fund them even with the small grant pots and so on. So I'll basically get a bit of a statement and drop it into open DMs. Now, for instance, I do this to Rio Ferdinand, Conor McGregor, various people. Will you retweet our content? And I'll give them a bit of an understanding of why you should retweet our content. Obviously, there's a gentleman with his bio says he's an ex-kickboxer. He's got 2.7 million followers. He's called Tristan Tate. He's one of the ones that I've dropped that into. This, one of the Saturday mornings when I woke up, he'd actually engaged with the conversation and said, I will help you, which was, okay, great, because we don't ask people, will you send us money? Will you donate? Because that's cheeky. That's not right, because you want to try and get a sponsor, which becomes more sustainable. So my philosophy is trying to get people to retweet this content to try and find that person that can sustain a project like ourselves, a community project, for a lot longer. So anyway, he sends the money. We say thank you very much. Myself does behind the scenes, and he drops £5,000 in. And at this moment in time, it's a bit like, wow, this is £5,000. This is a lot of money, but it will give us like 8 months, because one of the problems we've got with SC United of Wrexham, majority of parents, because we live in an area of deprivation, they're not being able to meet the fees at this moment in time. Now, the fees are not incredibly a lot. It's between £15 and £18 a month. But the sports halls are always increasing their hall fees. You know, they're doing it every January, April and October. I think I remember when I first started this project that the sports halls were only £20 an hour. They've increased to £27.85. And we've also, the adult is like £48 a session. And if you've only got 7 players turning up, and say only 5 out of them 7 is paying, you're making incredible losses. So as a club, you've got to try and work your hardest to try and get further income, so you can carry on delivering the community project in hope that you may get that long-term sponsor who believes in your vision. You know, we as a club, we want to get to the UEFA Champions League. We want to help people become Welsh international futsal players. We want people to break into the professional games of football as well, because futsal's one of the best tools for player development.
You reached out to a whole lot of people that you saw had kind of large profiles that you thought, you know, that would kind of resonate with what you're doing. And you didn't reach out to ask for them specifically to donate. You reached out for them to retweet their large following, hoping that you could find a long-term sponsor. Did you, with the Tristan Tate, I mean, were you a fan of Tristan or Andrew Tate? How did you even hear of Tristan Tate?
Well, just over the social media of seeing his, open DM. and he's a, you know, as it says in his bio, he's a kickboxer. So the answer to your question, no, I'm not a fan. I don't even know that much about them in that aspect anyway. I don't know what their beliefs are. I've had to educate myself, because when we had the £5,000 donated, that same Saturday that it happened, we obviously explained to our sponsor, because the sponsor, we'd invoiced the sponsor and they hadn't paid us for December, and that's the sign of times. So obviously I wanted to let them aware is, don't worry about paying the sponsorship this month. We've had 5k, but this is who it's come from. And they've turned around and said, oh, this is not good. And I've gone, okay, I need a bit of education. Got a bit educated from them. I got educated from a solicitor. I got educated from quite a lot of people. And then obviously the things of what they're alleged at this moment in time. I've got to say alleged, because that, you know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, this is not good, because it doesn't meet the ethos of the club. But then on that same Saturday, because it's not my decision to make, you know, do we send it back or not? I've had to go and ask a few people within the club, you know, and every single one of them said, I think we're going to have to give it back. It doesn't align with what we're trying to achieve. We spoke to a lot of people in well-respected roles as well. Again, I can't name them. And they turned around and said, can you send it back? And we've gone, right, okay then. So we've listened to everyone. In the meantime, with a donations page, you can't just go and press accept to a donation. Yes, we thanked him online straight away, because he just gives £5,000 at the time. But we took that tweet down straight away. But what happened is our sponsors pulled out as well. And then we were like, well, we haven't even said we're going to accept it yet, based on the information. So they've just gone and pulled out, and they had their reasons, and their reasons are genuine. So that put us in a position. But then obviously after our quick meeting that we had, we made the decision to send the money back. Now, obviously to me, because I've been involved in that process, that was quite embarrassing for myself. You know, whether, you know, obviously I don't believe with the values that I was getting educated with and so on, but I had to send the money back. So I basically, instead of, you know, obviously no one was out of pocket because we're sending the money back, and this was my viewpoint at the time. I'll just block Tristan, and let's just end up, no one's had the money. We're a community club, you know, we're a grassroots club. We're not like a public figure or anything like that. That should be the end of the matter. All right, you know, maybe that was my, you know, maybe I took a coward approach. I got to admit that, and maybe I should have said something to Tristan, but I didn't.
What was your response when you actually found out what him and his brother were charged with?
When I heard that, you know, it's against it with misogyny, and allegedly this was happening and that happening, anxiety. That's what came out. It was guilt, feeling sick, feeling. It was shocking. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know what they believed in or what they were doing. And when after that Saturday event had happened and other things were coming to light and fruition, wow, I don't know how to explain it. It was like, whoa, okay, I can see why everyone's being, you know, having a bit of a public outcry about it. However, this is not an isolated instance. I have not gone out to say I want Tristan Tate involved with the club. I've gone out to hopefully a celebrity will retweet, and again I say retweet, the information that we're trying to get out there to basically sustain a club. Now I don't see where I've gone wrong there. You know, that part of me I can't work out, because I do it, like I said, I do it to other celebrities. All I'm trying to do, I'm passionate about my club. I'm passionate about the people I'm supporting and coaching every day, and I just want people to have better lives. Now, if I'm guilty of that, then that's what I'm guilty of. However, the other part of it is that I can see why the values of what's being suggested, shown, and what is being portrayed, it doesn't meet our clubs. So we had to send the money back regardless. It was the right thing to do.
How long is it from when you return the money until he has this kind of, you know, outburst, meltdown?
That was done on the Saturday evening. Obviously, I had to make sure to get the right contacts and get everything right to send it back. So I had to contact the organisation to, can we please return the donation? And then I think it was the Tuesday night that that went out, and it was the social media account was just bouncing like hell at that point. But it was a lot of it was online hate, saying you've asked for the money 34 times. I've shown to other sources. I think we counted it was actually 31 times that I'd asked in a time period. Will you retweet? Again, I emphasize it wasn't. Please, will you donate? Will you give us money? I'm not Bob Geldof going give us the money. I think someone come out with, oh, it's just a PR stunt. If it was a PR stunt, wouldn't I have owned the narrative of saying, oh, thanks, but no thanks? Wouldn't we have owned that narrative? No, I blocked him to ignore the fact. That was just to go, you've had your $5,000 back, end of, But he went out for it and he attacked the grassroots club.
Don't give money to this guy. Don't give money to this fucking guy.
Well, don't give money to me. You're not giving money to me. You're giving it to the kid. It's going for the kids. It's going for the club. But you want the club to die. You want the kids to leave. Okay, so where are they going to play futsal? Because there's nowhere else in Wales. We're one of two youth clubs that deliver futsal in the whole of Wales.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to highlight is the kids that are being impacted by this.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're the ones being punished. And I'm not a public figure. I'm not a public figure by all means. So
I mean, it must just be kind of surreal, really.
Oh.
I mean, you hear about this happening, people getting cancelled and all sorts of things like this. Must be very surreal for you to kind of be right there, smack bang in the middle of it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to make me a public figure, but I'm not that intelligent enough to build off this. And I don't want to be a public figure. I've got my life at home. I've got my children. I've got my partner. I've got what I like to do as a job. All I want to do is just make sure the bloody sport is right. That's all I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to be bloody swanning off looking like I got a Bugatti or whatever you call it and having teeth like turkey teeth or whatever. I don't want that. That's not for me. All I want to do is be able to support people and help them to whatever their dreams are. I'm happy with what I've got. Yeah. But the only thing that eludes me is making the sports club, the futsal club, sustainable. So I'm not after a lifestyle. I'm not after or PR stunts here or whatever. This is purely to get a club sustainable, so we can make sure we can get on with the coaching element to really turn these kids around. That, in a nutshell, is what we're trying to do.